Uganda's forests, wildlife and fragile ecosystems continue to face increasing pressure from agricultural expansion, energy demand and harmful production practices. Now, under the second phase of the BIODEV2030 project, national authorities and conservation partners are working to reverse the trend by promoting what they call nature-positive development, growth that does not come at the expense of biodiversity.
How do we strengthen our policy instruments, frameworks and practices around reducing biodiversity loss at the national level, but also specifically in terms of the practices, the harmful practices, how do we put in place minimum standards that can, halt the degradation that is happening.
At the national level, experts are analyzing several public policy instruments, especially in agriculture and energy, to identify reforms that can curb harmful practices.
Key of the areas that we are really focusing on is the aspects of the ecosystem conservation and restoration. And again, the initiative that we are focusing on will support us in restoration of the ecosystems, but also reduce the pressures that are put on the ecosystems because of the use of wood biomass and the practices in the agriculture sector.
At the landscape level, the focus is on Mount Elgon, where population pressure, farming expansion and heavy dependence on biomass energy threaten ecosystems. While the project's first phase identified agriculture and energy as the largest drivers of biodiversity loss, Phase 2 digs deeper, pointing out gaps in enforcement, weak policy coordination and limited uptake of clean energy solutions.
The overall objective of the project is to reduce pressure on biodiversity that is specifically attributed to wood biomass, but also the agricultural practices.
Government officials agree that policy coherence is critical, especially where energy, agriculture and biodiversity intersect.
Meaning that we must bring together and create a multi-actor platform that brings together actors that fall in each of those three areas to ensure that the policies that we are establishing and promoting are able to create an environment that enables proliferation of our respective mandates.
Uganda's Ministry of Energy says 60% of annual forest loss is driven by household cooking needs, highlighting the urgent need for cleaner, affordable cooking alternatives.
So the policies we are looking at is how to transition from these traditional forms of biomass to cleaner forms of cooking, such as the use of electricity, ethanol, biogas, LPG.
Researchers presenting at the workshop showed that between 1990 and 2017, farmland in Uganda expanded by 25%, much of it into fragile ecosystems. They also warned about the growing use of harmful pesticides, over 15% of which are already on the market. Their analysis revealed persistent gaps, weak enforcement, policy incoherence, and poor institutional coordination, all of which have allowed destructive practices in agriculture and energy to continue.
And that affects how these policies are effected or how they are implemented. And so there's a lot of inefficiency in some of the policies.
Now, as Uganda works to meet global biodiversity targets, partners say the success of the BIODEV2030 project will depend on strong implementation and community involvement. I'm Benjamin Jumbe, NTV.